Hollywood, California has no shortage of visitors every year. Some come for the sun and palm trees, others for the outdoor activities, and others for a chance to maybe catch a glimpse of a Hollywood celebrity or two. Regardless, Hollywood and its surrounding neighborhoods are an incredible place to visit. So join Viewcation as we present the best things to do in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Griffith Observatory. When visitors come to Hollywood, this is often the first place their local friends bring them. That's because it's a bunch of different attractions blended into one spot. For starters, there's the hike up to the observatory. While it's not mandatory and you can drive up, it's a popular hike. Notably, it's not too hard and not that long, so you won't be worn out by the time you finish. Plus, the views as you make your way up are incredible. We should note that if you do drive, and especially if it's on a weekend or in the summer, it can get crowded. So that means the lot near the top will be pretty full. You might have to park a ways down and make a slight journey up from your car. So if you have folks in your party who might not want 10 to 15 minutes of uphill walking, you might want to drop them off first. When you arrive at the top of the hill at Griffith Observatory, you get panoramic views of all of LA. You can see downtown LA all the way out to Santa Monica and the coast, so that's worth the trip in and of itself. Then if you turn your head slightly behind you, you get a pretty up-close and personal look at the famed Hollywood sign. There's a beautiful grassy area in front of the observatory, so you can lounge there for a while, especially if you bring a blanket. Of course, you'll also want to check out the observatory itself. It's an incredible building that not only houses a telescope and planetarium, but also a series of exhibits free of charge. There's a giant pendulum that shows off the rotation of the Earth, as well as a huge Tesla coil that shoots electricity, plus a bunch of spots to learn about astronomy. Some parts of the observatory do cost a fee to get into, like the planetarium show. And when you're done inside, you can walk the observatory grounds for a variety of other great views of the LA skyline. Wacko Soap Plant. There's no better way to experience the eclectic and creative essence of LA than to step into the Wacko Soap Plant. It's basically a store that sells wild and wacky items you wouldn't find in any normal store. It began in 1971 and functioned as a mom-and-pop store in Los Feliz, which is the next town over from Hollywood. And its namesake came from the fact that the mom created handcrafted soaps. Her husband did all the graphic designing for the soaps and the store itself, and their sons specialized in ceramics and leather clothing and accessories. The son who made the leather goods was a visionary, and his wacky designs made him known throughout the city. He even had rock and roll clients like the New York Dolls and Elton John. Nowadays, the store sells items of all varieties, from Batman flags to a purse that's actually a rubber chicken. It takes up 6,500 feet of retail space and refers to itself as the second happiest place on Earth. If you're there on the first Friday of the month, you should check out the party they throw in their back lot. It's the art openings for La Luz de Jesus Gallery, and it's been called the best party in town. Not too shabby for a place that began with a mom selling fancy soap. The Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. The Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, or as it's more commonly known, the UCB Theater, has become the breeding ground for many of today's most successful comedy performers and writers on TV and in film. But it's not simply a training facility where these comedic geniuses go to hone their chops. It's a running theater that shows off the most talented improvisers and comedians in LA. UCB has long been a place where audiences are treated to top-notch comedy without having to pay the usual comedy club prices. For $10, you can see an incredible improv show by budding stars. And no, this won't be like the time you got dragged to your cousin's awkward college improv show and the audience was silent for 45 minutes. The UCB Theater hosts multiple shows every night of the week, showcasing top-notch comedic talents in improv and sketch comedy. And depending on the night, there are often former performers who stop in and join the shows. Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It might seem odd to proclaim a cemetery as a must-see, but the Hollywood Forever Cemetery is no average cemetery. It's a space that not only has the graves and burial sites of many famous Hollywood celebs, but it's also a place to see live peacocks and movies. Yep, in the summers, there's a movie series that attracts thousands of people where you sit in and around the graves and on the lawns in front of them and watch classic movies projected up onto a building. They show things ranging from old classics like Bringing Up Baby to 80s favorites like Back to the Future and cult hits like Pulp Fiction. And visitors often dress up in costumes to match the movie playing. Of course, if you're not there on a weekend in the summer, you're still going to want to check out this incredible cemetery. Check out the grave of Johnny Ramone, which has a giant sculpture of the rocker playing guitar. There's also the grave of legendary animation voice talent Mel Blanc, and many more. Plus, there's a gorgeous mausoleum to check out, as well as live peacocks. They're housed in a cage towards the back of the cemetery, and you can walk right up and take a look. The Hollywood Bowl and the Greek Theater. Hollywood has a ton of great indoor and outdoor music venues. They range from the famous Troubadour to the Hotel Cafe and many more. And there are no two better spots to see a show than the Hollywood Bowl and the Greek Theater. Both are iconic outdoor venues with incredible acoustics, perfect for checking out your favorite musical artists, a new band you've been hearing about, or even the LA Philharmonic. The summer and early fall are the prime time to hit up these venues, and there are no bad seats in the house. Both spots are set up perfectly to bring a picnic or to grab food at one of their many high-quality food vendors. Between ticket prices, food, and transportation, it's not the cheapest night out, but it's likely one you won't forget soon. The Grove and the LA Farmers Market. This is another of the places that any local will want to bring you to if you're visiting. The Grove is a fantastic outdoor mall with all the usual stores you might expect, scattered around a large fountain and grassy areas with food vendors. So as you shop, you can take a break to admire the fountain's water show while tunes from the Frank Sinatra era play over the loudspeaker. There's a train you can hop on that runs throughout the mall, which is fun for the kids. And right next to the variety of stores is the LA Farmers Market, a permanent structure that hosts food vendors from all over the world. You could eat there for every meal of your visit and still not get close to tasting all the delicious offerings they have. LACMA. The LA County Museum of Art, or LACMA, is one of the top art museums in LA and always worth a visit for any art fan. It's a huge museum, so you could easily spend a long afternoon there without feeling like you've seen it all. For starters, you'll want to check out their two famous outdoor exhibit pieces. One is the Urban Lights, a series of old school and vintage street lamps that are lined up next to the museum. It's a super popular spot for people to take pics for social media. The other is a piece called Levitated Mass, and it's a huge rock that sits over a walkway. It's a spectacle because of its sheer size, and definitely worth checking out. Then inside the museum, there are a ton of great permanent and rotating exhibits you'll love. These range from pieces by Andy Warhol to Picasso and everyone in between. Grauman's Chinese Theater. This movie theater has stood in Hollywood for 95 years and is as synonymous with downtown Hollywood as the legendary Walk of Fame that sits on the sidewalk just outside it. You can admire the hand and footprints of the stars before you pop in to catch one of the latest blockbusters. The theater experience is made even better with the inclusion of M4D and D-box seating. It's a great option, especially if you're visiting in hotter months and need a fun activity in a cool environment. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you ever been to Hollywood? Did we miss any of your favorites? And if not, do you ever plan to go? Let us know in the comments section below.